Alrighty there. Okay, that should all be working. Had a few OBS related things to catch up on. So, as one does, we ignore when OBS says it wants to update until after we stream. But yeah, apparently a lot of stuff disconnected. It's just OBS doing what OBS does. I just had to spend a little bit of time to reconnect. Hello, Netball. How are you doing, man? I'm going to be doing a bit more dev work than programming today, hopefully. I've been dodging programming pretty well. But yeah, we're gonna be doing some dev work today, I'm pretty sure. For the most part, since we as you can see, the lasers are working. I'll actually run the game so you can see it. Shaders run automatically. So just give me 1 second. I'm still setting some stuff up. I'm doing alright, Nepal. Thank you for asking. I'm doing okay. And so but how was Shadow of Mordor? It was Shadow, yeah, it was Shadow of Mordor. Shadow of Mordor was the last one, right? Very good. Shadow of War, right, thank you. Is the music too loud or is it okay? Wow, hold on. How about now? And am I too low? Because again, OBS changed a whole bunch of stuff, so I'm not sure where things were right now. Okay, awesome. 1 second. Let me do this. There we go. Awesome stuff. And where is it? Okay, so here we go. So we're gonna be working actually not. Oh yeah, let me run this. Well, something is wrong. You don't know what. Muse tools. I have no clue what this is. I do not have Muse. Well, I have Muse on my computer. I have not connected it with Unity, so I'm not sure what Muse is about here. It might be something else. So back end, this is all Unity stuff. I might need to rebuild the library, I guess. I don't know. So there was an error that I was getting before that kept popping up dealing with the SSAO. This is just a Unity thing. It has nothing to do with the shader that I had made. Probably the shader that I made provoked it into breaking. I don't know. But basically, the solution came down to either restarting Unity, recomposing the library, or just doing a fresh install. I happened to be out of date anyway for Unity 6, so I just updated it and it got rid of that error. But in turn, now I'm getting this weird Muse error. This is just the problem. Even if you have the LTS, when you have basically the newest version, you're just going to bump into these extreme cases, I'm guessing. What is Muse? I think Muse is their AI solution. Yes, it's right here. Muse is their AI solution. I don't have Muse on this. Alright, let me uninstall Muse. You see, eventually my brain remembered it. So I just need to go into the package manager, and I need to see if Muse is on my Unity. If it is, then I'll just get rid of it. Or update it. I don't really use it anyway. Well, I should use Muse. I'm gonna do like a stream where I actually use it and see like what it's like. I don't use it because you have to pay for it, but might as well at least see what it is, right? Like, I don't want to take the risk and then buy it in its complete junk, because most AI solutions you're going to bump into are just not going to be useful for game dev. I mean, they're useful to an extent, but I just don't trust like the built-in ones yet to be able to actually maintain resolution on the data set for the project that I'm working on. I'm always thinking it has to be a small project, or else the AI is just going to go bonkers over time. Where are you now? So I'm looking at my registry. Muse. Yes, apparently Muse is installed, it looks like. It is, so let's just remove it. There we go. I thought it was talking about Muse, the audio software, which I also have on my computer. So that's for like audio editing and stuff like that. One sec. Ah, my chat disappeared. Hold on. There we go. I haven't used it. I just uninstalled it actually because it was throwing exceptions when I started Unity, so just got rid of it altogether. I'll try it later, but for right now, I have my API ready. Like a good chunk of my API for this game is now built. So I'm just gonna goof around with that today and build out my skill tree for the most part. That's the hope. Oh my goodness, that's what it was. I was supposed to write down all of the skills and graph out the skill tree, but I spent all that time trying to fix that exception that I was getting with SSAO. All right, man. Thanks for showing up. Let's see. One sec. Can I? Okay, good. Yeah, okay, good. And it's going to give a ton of warnings about what? Shader crew? Yeah, we don't care about that. Okay. That's just old code. It's giving a deprecated warning. I can go in there and change it, but it doesn't hurt anything right now. Alright, so I'm going to run this so we can all just see like what I was up to. Good catching up point. So these are the skill nodes for right now. Let me make it bigger. There we go. So this is the big bad graph that it's going to be later on. So the core is going to be right here. We still need to apply something, I think, to make this go. Then this is the unlocker, right? So like when you unlock this, they're all going to be different colors. Well, they are technically different colors, but these two look similar. But they're three different colors going on here. But this is the laser right here between them. So I made this. If you know, you know. You can't actually use line renderer on UGUI. So what we did instead is we made our own line renderer. And we made it a little bit robust, boys. So let's flex it real quick. Hold on. Canvases. Testing. I think it's under this. Yeah, here we go. Render lines. So this is it right here. Right? So basically we can increase the thickness as much as we want of the laser. Or we can make it narrow. Whatever. Alright, we got a lot of options. Right now we have it on tiling mode, which is what's allowing for the repeating. We also have to... So if you want to do a laser shader, you have to also remember that whatever image you're going to be, or texture you're going to be using, it needs to be set to repeat. Otherwise, it'll look really weird. So let's bring this... I'm not sure what looks good or not, but... Let's turn this off and see what happens. So it becomes white. Let's change this from trail to laser. See what it looks like. Interesting. I think we have to... Let's mess with the shader a little bit. Nothing? Okay. There we go. And let's make it bigger so you can see it more clearly. That looks pretty cool. So let's make sure of something, because I feel like something is off here. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. We have way more than 8 here. Why? In fact, we have 2 pages of it. So we have something else happening here I need to look at later. You think what it's doing is that it's generating a line, then it's generating a line back from something to that point. So this might not be an issue here. It might be just an issue with how I'm collecting the nodes and then drawing the lines. That's what I think is happening there. But that's not, it's not a big deal. I don't care too much about it right now. I'm just happy it works. Okay, I'm not sure which one looks better, the other laser or this laser. One way or the other, they're both lasers. Let's make this one a little bit more narrow. I think I like it like this, though. Yeah, this looks nice. We're gonna go with about 40 here, and then... This is nice. I like it. And we could just change the colors here. Like, right now it's just, it can go pure white, or we can do it with these colors. I'm not sure what the final color scheme is going to look like, but we've got options. If there's interest to see how this is made, I can certainly show it. It's pretty cool. Pretty nice. We can even set up, like, how the thickness is handled. It's pretty cool. Hey, what's up, Social Club? We're King's Move. What's going on, my brother? Okay, let's get to work. So that's the tree that we're building. So this tree is actually in parallel. Let's close these shaders real quick. Or shader graphs. I think we have to close this. Stop it. There we go. So this tree, that tree that you were looking at, is actually, on the data side, this stuff. I spent the time to make it, and so I want to enjoy it today. We are going to be doing a little bit of coding. I want to refactor this a little. Darn it. I wanted to refactor this a little. Oh, gosh. Okay, so let's look at it like this. Ultimately... let's run this one more time. Ultimately, this is the center node right here. And everything branches out from here, right? Into whatever directions it wants to. And the idea is pretty simple. We have the martial side, which is like when you're going to be using weapons and combos and all kinds of stuff that you're going to be doing. Goes off into one direction. The magic side goes off into this direction. And then the life skills stuff goes off into another direction. And so then there's like connections that can be made between them, and it's all going to be a gigantic network graph. That's the idea. So this, if you can't tell, is basically this up here. And it's not at runtime. I'd have to like run the game again, but it's instantaneous. So as soon as I add one here, it'll add it over here, and I really like that. Pretty cool. Guys, not much. Scoping out my underground dev communities as always. Visual scripting looks harder than normal scripting to me. Oh no, it's not. Well, it is visual scripting, but I made it, so I guess it can't be hard to me because I'm the one who made it. Like, this is all custom code. Correct. Right. So like, I have my scriptable object here, which is what's giving this its definition. I just pushed in a style sheet. There's really nothing in it right now, but I could like add a grid or whatever I want to this. But I'm leaving it there for now. It doesn't need anything. And it's just going to build up my skill tree. The alternative was to actually populate this myself. I didn't want to do that. Like, all of these nodes are created inside of here. And then when we run the skill tree, it just reads a scriptable object to populate the skill tree over here. Correctamundo. It's pretty cool. So we're gonna actually, so I was playing some other games, and I realized for the kind of game that I'm making, I'm missing a couple of stats, a few stats. I'm gonna get rid of the chance-related stats, right? I think the only stats that I want in there that are chance-related will be like loot drops and probably critical hits. But outside of that, I'm going to be changing things to do build-up instead. So every time you attack an opponent with, like, let's say a fire element, it won't immediately like run a roll and see, hey, do I apply fire or not? Instead, it'll just build up the stats or that element's level on that opponent until it reaches a point where fire will start, right? And then it'll apply the fire status effect. And so we'll call that your status buildup. So we're going to have a bunch of stats that reflect these different buildups, is what I'm thinking. Or the buildup rate. And then that's how we're going to handle it. That's basically where I'm going at with it. Yeah. So I'm going to be working on adding a few more stats, which is super easy. My stats are over here. As soon as I find it. There we go. Okay, my stats are... Is it under... I forgot already. So we have skill tree, ability. It should be here somewhere. Did I put it? No. Okay, you know what? We'll just type in a stats name. Wolf. There we go. Oh, it's under skill tree. It shouldn't be here. It should actually be out here. I think I probably accidentally dragged and dropped it into skill tree at some point. Yeah, thanks, social. I don't know how it dropped. You know what it is? Sometimes you accidentally left click and just drag stuff in. Okay. So we just have our scriptable objects, which are our stats. So this is pretty neat. What I have over here, I'll show how these are implemented. So these raw stats are just, I think of them like enums. But since I have a addressable system, I can call these from anywhere in my code, right? The data itself. We have this in our manager object, which is our entity initializer. Inside of the entity initializer, it just grabs all of the stats that are in the game, and it will then anything that wants to initialize, like when we want to start a new entity, a new character, basically, we can just go through the initializer and it will apply the stats to it that entity should have, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of like a factory. We just pump stuff in, it applies stats, and then pumps stuff back out. Everything can use it. Anything that has an entity on it. So entity is just it's just a Poco class, right? It's just I'll show it actually. Give me a sec. This is it right here. That's just a plain old C object. So if I want the player to have an entity, I just give it the player entity. If I want NPCs, it can be an NPC entity. There are actors that are actually in the world, and those actors have an entity class object on them that we initialize on load. And then when we initialize them, based on the type of entity that we initialize it for, it could be player, could be NPC, it will go to the it will go upwards and try to initialize that entity. If it's like a regular bad guy or whatever, it'll have its own process of initializing, and that's how it's set up, right? And so it'll pump into the entity manager, which will then see a new entity trying to come in. It'll push itself through the initializer, and then it'll come back with with the information taken care of. It's like the well-oiled machine. Okay. Okay. I'm seeing an error, though. What's this? Unexpected error, transport worker. I have no clue where this is coming from. I must have ran it. I think I must have had it running while I made script changes. Yeah, it's like the A-team. I love it when a good plan comes together. Thank you very much, though. It's a chunk. Like, once that's done, when it comes to building these RPGs, once that's done, it's like a chip is off your shoulder, right? Because then the rest of the game starts to come together. Like, there's a certain point in building a bigger RPG that once it's like kind of like you get past this hurdle and all of the data, the ends of the data start coming together, and and you have like that ability to just pull data from anywhere. And it's so awesome. Like, I think that's the biggest hurdle when it comes to building an RPG. It's just getting to that part. So the entity manager, I'm not there yet, but the entity manager is definitely a big step in that direction for me. All right. So, okay. So we need to refactor the skill tree editor. That's where we are right now. I need to make it more modular because I don't want to have to code in a new option every time I add a new tree. Don't worry about it, man. And we need to add a new stat also. So instead of this is actually a parameter. So in this, there are parameters and then there's stats. So the stats, the base stats, are these guys. The parameters are all based on calculations from the base stat. So there's that. Where are you? Stamina regen. Status. Okay, there we go. All right. Marshal status build up. So this is my addressable system right here. So this gets an address as soon as we build it, right? And so when we give this an address, this is, we can see it right here. It's read only, but we can see its parameters slash this. This is the address that will always get us this. We just click register all addressables. Unity will handle that. And then I can now get, so this was originally this was Marshal status chance. 1 second. So this is going to throw an error because we no longer we changed it. We no longer have the Marshal status chance. We changed the name, so we have to go in and change that over here. Right? And so now instead of Marshal status chance, we have to go Marshal status build up. There we go. And so this just gives us access to all of our scriptable objects anywhere in our code. What do you mean? You mean like the sum or the product of two stats, or after some, let's call it quadratic method is applied, they create a new stat kind of thing? Thank you. We still need to add these in properly, but this is a work in progress because I'm not sold on making these the way like this quite yet. We have it sort of here, but I'm not sold on it yet. So I'm like, I left this here as a note to myself for if I should make these explicitly stats or damage types. They just have so much overlap. I wasn't sure which way to go with it. What is this problem? An existing connection was forcibly closed by the remote host. I have no clue what's causing this. We don't have anything open on Unity. It's just, man, I'm getting frustrated with Unity's nonsense. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it's working, where I have the base stat here, right? So you have comprehension, endurance, luck, power, and all of the other stats are just combinations of these to some degree. Like if you increase your power by a certain amount and some other stat by a certain amount, it will increase a parameter by a different amount, right? And it's just a combination of them. So that's the distinction you're talking about, is the difference between what I call a stat versus what I call a parameter, right? And so everything else is based on the parameters, but by changing the stats you can also affect the parameters themselves. So if you get like a weapon, generally speaking, we don't increase your base stat unless it's like a level up or something like that. Generally, we're just dealing with the parameters. That's how I have it set up right now. But like the base stat, you start the game, you have a certain set of base stats, and your parameters can continue to increase over time. Like so there's something called a visitor broker pattern, where you can apply modifiers to values without directly changing the values by storing those changes in a dictionary inside of a broker. And then basically you're keying it into that stat, right? However you keyed it, you keyed it. So the point is that whenever I call a parameter, I'm actually going to be calling the parameter plus its modifier. The code for that is I've shown it in another stream. I can show it again in a second. But I'm gonna get into the refactor on this skill tree editor now. Okay, we have to do it through this. I have quite a few skill tree folders, so it just doesn't make sense to look for it that way. I think it's probably under UI. No, this is for the UI for the player. This is not good. I think it's editor. Yep, here we go. Okay. So, skill tree graph view. There we go. Graph editor. Okay. Get rid of this. Actually, I think it's not this. Let's close a whole bunch of stuff because we don't need. Let's save though. We don't need a whole bunch of stuff open right now. Okay. There we go. The graph view is what we need. Okay, so I'm gonna identify the problem first that I'm gonna try to fix. This is it right here. Every time that we make a new node, we are doing this. Right? And so if I make a new node now, or new node type, I then have to come into this code and I need to tell it, hey, this is how you create this node. There's a couple solutions. Or rather, where did I put this? There's a couple steps to this, though. 1 second. Yeah. And so this is the other part of the problem. This part right here. Right? And so we're telling it, hey, when we want to build a context menu, this is an override. But when we want to build this, we want to add on. So you don't really see this, I think, on YouTube, but when I right click, these options come up. Add stat, add ability, add unlock node, right? I don't want to have that work like this. I would rather it do a for loop through all of the viable scriptable object node types. And then I can just select that. I don't want to have to come back in here and then, like, if I make a new node type, then go like event, menu, and then type in that new node type. Because I'm not going to remember to do that in another month. Right? So I want to do a little bit of reflection, and that's going to be our context menu. And then when I right click, it'll just give me a list out of all of the valid types of nodes. Kind of like Constitution Strength. Alone the stats just do, but substats can be worked from just using two stats combined. Yeah. And you are wanting to remove luck stat, but still want luck involved passively. No, I want to. So, like I said, there's going to be a couple of chance stats that I'm keeping. One of them is going to be like item drops, and the other one's going to be like critical. Another one is critical hits. So things like that, and lucky dodge, right? So like, I want luck stat to be something that is a kind of build you can go into, but All right, let me go back to the skill tree real quick. The goal of this skill tree, at the end, you're going to have a few layers of abstraction. The first thing is there are going to be masteries. I haven't built that yet, but that's after this. As you attack, let's say you pick up a sword, you use the sword to attack something. When you hit something with a sword, you'll gain, let's call it experience, to your sword mastery. When your sword mastery levels up, you'll get, let's say, a stat point. Okay? That point will be added to this tree. You can spend that point on a node. Like, you can just click the node and level that node up using those points. The direction that you go using those points that you're getting is entirely up to you. Every time that you spend a point, though, on a node, there's an attainment tracker here. The higher the attainment tracker goes, it increases every time that you spend a point. The higher that attainment value goes, the more it costs to actually, the more points it costs to level up a node or to unlock a node. If that makes sense. Right? That's the direction that I'm going at with this. So if you want to build your like luck stat out, the way that I'm going at with this, right? The way that I'm going at with this is, you can pick your path. So like right here, if I remember, well, I don't need to remember, I can just look. So yeah, this is like critical damage right here, right? The amount of damage you do on critical. So if you're gonna build in this direction, which would basically be like 1, 2 over here somewhere, then that would be like you're building into building critical damage. Behind this, though, there's going to be a whole bunch of different things, right? You're going to have further things that are increasing critical damage. You're also going to be having specific weapons. So, like, this is where I'm at with this. I want to lock specific weapons behind specific stats in that way. So if you build into, like, let's say the greatsword, right, is a weapon that when you find them, they tend to have higher amounts of critical damage. If you build this way, you'll start getting into like areas where you can unlock new attack, new abilities with great swords that you can equip and use and things like that. So that's kind of the direction I'm going at with it. And then as you go further out, you get obviously more powerful stuff, stronger stats, and then you'll start getting the blending that's going on with like hybrid stuff where you might have a great sword and then like over here is the critical tree, and so you can like have like a style of using the greatsword that is more critical chance related rather than critical damage related. In a sense. So that's how it's going to go. But this is called a network graph, right? So there's going to be a cool thing where the nodes aren't always in the same place. Depending on the connections that are made, the nodes will actually get pulled towards different areas, making it easier for you to get to other nodes, just by the virtue of having made a connection between two different nodes. Right? So a node that was like over here, if you made a connection to another node that was like over here, and it's connected to this, it will pull these two nodes closer together, which might give you access to another node over here, and then you can just make the connection to that. That's the idea. So you can actually see it sort of working, even with what I have right now. So like when I start this, you'll see that they don't start in their default place. They're moving. Did it freeze? No. Something froze. Oh, the game. There we go. Something is going on. Hold on. I don't know what's happening. Unity is doing... I might need to restart Unity. I don't know what this error is, but it keeps happening like every couple of seconds. It has nothing to do with the project itself. It's just unexpected transport error from import worker. What is a worker again? Oh, multi-threading. What's going on? Um, closed by the remote host. It's acting like as if there's multiple instances of Unity running. I'm not sure. I might need to. I'm gonna just restart Unity. I'm gonna close. It's gonna go black screen for a second. No, it's a Unity thing. It's a Unity thing. I'm gonna just restart it though. It's like when you this type of stuff truly just takes the winds out of my sail, you know? Like I try to get through it, but it's like the engine needs to be more stable. Okay, there we go. So now the error, what are you gonna do? Is it gonna start going? No. Okay, so let's run it and so you can see what it looks like. So you see them doing their thing, and they kind of scatter out. They move around, and so they're going to be moving based on the things that they're connected to. That's the idea. There we go. Yeah, it's already hard enough. The engine going unstable like that is like icing on the cake when it comes to reasons to not be motivated. Okay. All right, let's just build this out. So actually, since you're here and you have these ideas on game dev, I'm going to rob your ideas. Go ahead and tell me, how do you think I should build this out? We're going to work together on this. So I'm going to explain what's happening here already. We can start this again from scratch. All of this is just, you know, as I'm just building it, I'm just building it out. So the way that it is that we have the core node. The core node is basically where when you click it, when the player clicks the core node, that menu will come up and they can choose to convert their current points or current experience, skill experience that they gain from leveling up their masteries like we just talked about, and convert those into points. And so the core node stores these points. And then you can spend these points now on any of these nodes. All nodes start from the core node, right? And as you spend those points, so you can increase the core nodes. Yeah, I know. I was using Godot before, so I'm very well aware of what happens to as solo dev in larger projects on Godot. It starts, especially in 3D for the animator. It's rough. I heard another person was telling me who's still doing Godot stuff that it's gotten better. But then within like a week, they told me, oh, they had to design their own animator. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, we're done. like, that's the thing with Godot developers, is that it's almost like talking to an Apple consumer. Yeah, you know, you're almost tempted to call it like a cult of personality. Like, it's a funny group. I feel you. I feel you. Hey, you know, you can always just get back to it at any point. But Godot for sure. I'll give Godot this. It forces you to get good at programming for sure. Like, there's no hand-holding in Godot. You have to be good at it. If you're not, then too bad. GDScript is fairly easy though, so even as a programmer, it'll make you a better programmer using it, because it simplifies concepts. And then when you go back to more robust language, it's just, things just make more sense easily. Okay, fair enough. Still, that's the thing. I think graphic artists have it the easiest, because all you guys have to do all you guys have to do is, as artists, is figure out programming. A programmer without the artist side has to figure out art, and that ain't easy, dude. Like, I can put pencil to paper, but I don't have the skills for that. I just rely on programmer art and forcing certain things. Like, even, so in order to avoid having to do sprite art, what I did is I created a script that will compose sprite art for me using pieces of sprites. That's how bad it is for me to try to get away from having to do art. I can do it, but I know it's going to take me hours to generate art that it would take a legit artist like 5 minutes to do. Okay. So... let's see. Stat, ability, stat node. So I think I want to minimize. So in my mind, I was trying to just get the stats to be kind of like a linking between different abilities, right? So I think, and then I'm trying to consider how long would it take for a person who's playing to get to like this tier of node? You know what I mean? Because at a certain point in the story, they unlock this. And then at another point, they get to pick basically the martial Dao, they get to pick the mystical Dao, or they get to pick the, gosh, what was it called? It's not Dao, it's like the Sao or Suon or something like that. I have it written down somewhere. But basically lifestyle skills. And then they can invest in one. So the moment that you invest in the martial Dao, what happens is, so these are unlocker nodes. This will unlock on their character the ability to equip cultivation manuals for the martial Dao. So we're just going to stick with the martial Dao. I'm drilling into the martial Dao for right now. Cultivation manuals for the martial Dao, the first slot. Basically, when you equip that, it allows you to do your 3-hit combo that isn't generic. It's based on the style of the school that that cultivation manual is from. And it, of course, it has to match whatever weapon you're actually using, because it doesn't matter if you're using a wrong weapon. You'll just use the generic attacks for that weapon. But if it matches the cultivation manual, you'll do the cultivation manual's unique attacks, which tends to include things depending on the school, like knockback, dash-in, attack type stuff. But right now the game is super simple. All I have to do is hold left click and I'll do a whole bunch of fancy stuff. So it's pretty cool. But then if I press a direction and hold left click, it'll do other things. But that's not part of this. This is just going to give you the hold left click and you'll do the unique things for that cultivation manual. Then, of course, you know, the extra stuff when you hold into directions, there are only 3 attacks ever. You get 3 on the ground or 3 in the air. But they're alternate attacks. When you press a direction between attacks or before an attack, instead of doing the regular left-click attack for that stage, you do the alternate version. So you can unlock those through the skill tree. Like, there's going to be parts where you find, like, you can unlock it here, and there's a total of 3 of them that you can unlock. Once you unlock them, you can equip a skill manual for that in that slot, and you'll do that alternate attack at that stage. Right? And of course, as you do that, you level it up, and as you level up your understanding of the manual, that alternate attack will have like plus 5% damage when you hit with it. All kinds of stuff, right? Different things will happen based on that manual. That's an equipment. Different conversation. So that's 10,000 feet up. That's basically my picture of what's happening here. That's true. I'm fitting to collab with one of you guys one day. We can fuse like Captain... But I'm still rolling an arm wrestling game in my head. I remember you were talking about that, and it always you could always explain it easy. I would have to like make one. I think like I can't think if I've actually made a game that I could say would be like arm wrestling. I don't think so. All right, let's make it a let's so I think by this point the player is like, okay, I want to have like an ability. So I'm gonna make one ability for each. So we've already made the martial status build up. So where is it? This is Eyes of the Hawk, critical chance. This is critical defense. Martial lethality. Status buildup. Okay. So this is the status buildup right here. And resistance stat. So we have a couple of weapons. Right? We have a couple of weapons. So let's add a stat node. We're gonna make another stat node here, actually. We're not gonna we're gonna do 2 nodes right here. And it's going to be
She's a itty bitty spider with a itty bitty letter and a string jacket round her waist. When she gets a bite, you better run, you better hide, better pray that you're not worth the chase. Yeah, she might be pretty, but I promise it gets scary. Once you want your daddy and she finds out where you live, creeping in the shadows, eating poisoned apples. She's nothing like you ever seen. Her mood goes up and down and round, and ain't no telling what she might do next. 'Cause she's a itty bitty spider.
I see. Okay. So in this case, we need to add a visitor, and that visitor is going to be, so this is the greatsword. I'm going to say the greatsword is going to be related to dealing critical damage. And we're going to go with the greatsword element here. Okay, and we'll call it, we'll increase, so basically what this will do, so in the game, if you've seen, like, when I actually played in the combat stuff, you'll see that I have, like, a bar on the top right. There's these little horizontal bars at the very bottom. So this is what this is. It's the elements. The elements are a little bit weird. The HP, so let's start with the HP. The health is very small. It's like 1 to 4, 1 to 6, whatever, right? You have a stamina bar, a thin yellow or gold bar right underneath health. That's technically actually your health. When you take damage, you're taking damage to your stamina. And when your stamina hits 0, you lose a point of health. Right? But then it will bring back up your stamina to maximum immediately, like a second breath, second wind. However, your stamina's maximum changes based on your current health. So if you're, let's say, at 3/4 of your health, you'll at maximum have 3/4 of whatever stamina you have when you fully recover. Right? Technically, it's not fully recovered. The elements kind of work like resistances, right? If you are, like, let's say, in this case, a person who's really good with a greatsword, and you take damage from another greatsword, or just martial attacks, but let's make it another greatsword for right now. It'll mitigate the amount of damage that you're taking from that kind of attack, right? So effectively, it'll reduce the amount of stamina damage that you take from having to deal with another person with a greatsword. The higher your greatsword's element information here, let's call it your sword aura or whatever, the less damage that you take, right, from another greatsword. And at the same time, it's entirely possible for you to mitigate greatsword damage completely. However, every time that you do, your greatsword's current greatsword element reduces. right? And when it hits 0, you basically have no protection from your. You've exhausted your aura with your greatsword, and your stamina is going to have to deal with the attacks directly. And that's how it works. At the same time, as you use, let's say you're using your greatsword, the amount of damage that you can you have a level of lethality, but the actual amount of damage that you can put out increases based on your current greatsword, let's call it elemental energy, right? So the higher this number is at any point, the higher your damage. So basically over time, it doesn't reduce unless you use finishers with your greatsword. So if you use a finisher with the greatsword, it'll consume some of your greatsword energy, but this recovers fairly quickly on its own. Stamina on its own will also recover when you use... So you have... Remember those 3 basic attacks I was telling you about? When you use your basic attacks, it actually recovers a small bit of stamina every time you hit an opponent with it. On top of just over time, your stamina regenerates. Right? The only thing that doesn't regenerate over time is your health. That one you probably need like a potion, or you need to like rest, or stuff like that. Pretty much, yeah. Greatsword juice. So, that's the idea. So we're going to increase this by 5%, or go by 15. This is like the introduction to greatswords. Like, this is where you start off with your greatsword. Okay. I guess we can call this Path of the Unrelenting. Path of the Unchained. I think I'm gonna go with that. Hey, go ahead and borrow it, man. I haven't patented it yet, so I'm not gonna pull a Shadow of War and patent my my systems. I probably should though. Okay, so this is the greatsword. Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay, and then at the same time, we're also going to introduce an ability to pair with this. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any abilities yet. Well, we do, but I haven't made a ton of abilities. Let's call this one... I guess we can make this a classic greatsword slash from above. So let's call it Heaven Splitter. Right, there we go. Okay. So let's see what that looks like. Let's save. Everything looks good. Let's see what that looks like when we run it. It is everywhere. What the heck? I think I just broke Unity. Yep, we broke Unity. I think we need to clamp our values. It's supposed to be clamped. It's supposed to be clamped with math. But obviously it's not. My Unity is frozen. Give me 1 second. Task manager. The values are supposed to be clamped. I don't know how that happened. We don't see Unity. There it is. Yep, Unity is like calculating wherever whatever vector that thing is at. And task. There we go. Sure. Unity. There we go. Okay, so that is supposed to be clamped. It was not. But it was fun. At least it worked. I'm tempted to do it one more time to see if it breaks, but all of the values are deterministic, so it's always going to do the same thing every single time. So I'm tempted. This is the mad scientist part of me. I know it's going to break, but I want to do it again to see if it is actually deterministic, which it should be. So let's do it one more time. Prepare for Unity to crash again. Yep, there we go. Hey, Unity didn't crash this time though, but it did break. Right? It says basically it's finite, it's infinite, basically. The value went way too crazy. But this actually makes things easier for us. Actually, we need more information, so let's do it one more time and let's get it to crash once more. I think I know what the problem is. Aw, crud. Unity officially crashed this time. I literally got the bug reporter. Okay. At least we remember it was line 66, so that's nice. There we go. All right, talk to you later, social. Have a wonderful day, man. What the heck? Now it's trying to work? There we go. Darn it. Stop not giving me a bug report. I need not a bug report, pausing the game before the bug report. I'm trying to get it to give me the information it gave me a second ago, but I needed more information on the hierarchy. Unfortunately, it's crashing, but it's crashing in the... fortunately, it is crashing. Unfortunately, it's crashing in the wrong way. Trying to figure out, how do I get this thing to crash correctly? How about this? You do this. Actually, hold on. Maybe we can... Okay, stop. There we go. Got it. Alright, let's take a look at what this value is. I think I already know what the problem is. I think we just forgot to set the weight for ability nodes. We set the weight for the other one, but this is the first ability node, and we might have forgotten to set a default weight for it. Where is it? It's under managers, I think? Wait, no, Unity crashed entirely? What the heck, bro? I paused it. Ah, that's... That is uncool. I freaking paused it. Alright, there we go. I thought I paused it in time, but apparently it's faster than my left click can go. What I need to do is I just need to pause it before it breaks. Because I need to read the stat on the value in the hierarchy. Stopped. There we go. I can click stuff. Okay, so it would be the Heaven Splitter. Yep. See? There's like nothing in it, so that's what's causing the problem. The other ones should be... It's just way too... We start off with 10,000 or 100,000, but the number goes down super fast. Interesting. So we just need to clamp that number. It's basically... Okay, that should fix it. He just came off of lunch, the nipple. Sweet baby video is blowing up via suggestion feed. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's come out of this. Eventually you're gonna get a hit, dude. You don't have to worry about that part. Because, I mean, right? People are always gravitated towards that kind of content. It's just what it is. Like, it's very opinionated, and so you get the good and the bad. Oh, come on. Heaven Splitter. How did the mass get so low? Like, what the heck, bruv? I capped it off at 50, but it wants to pretend like it. Ah, whoops. It shouldn't possibly, unless I forgot to save. No, I did save. I capped it off at 25. Is there math that's done afterwards? Oh, whoops. There we go. Okay, now we should go. Now, the question is, why does it have that connection? I don't recall making a connection between it and this. So we need to find out which one that is. Steam. Heaven Splitter. Heaven Splitter is... Why is Heaven Splitter connected? It should just be 1, 2, 3. Did I... Heaven Splitter should not be skill tree editor. Did I accidentally? No. Heaven Splitter is by itself over here. Parents. Yeah, it only requires one node, so I don't understand why something is connecting to it over there. It's a 30... One sec. 3049. The Martial Insight. Yeah, it's not even here on the list as a list of possible children. Yeah, it's not there. Don't make no goddamn sense. I think it's time we put in some tooltips. Just so I can like find out what these actually are. This is back to doing that worker nonsense again. I don't know, brothers. I feel like as if Unity is just saying, stop. That's basically what it feels like. Like, you don't... Let me do... You know what? Let me not go crazy yet. I'm gonna look at this up. One sec. Oh, I see. So, Unity is saying that there's a corrupted asset that it is trying to connect with. Unfortunately, this doesn't really tell me which one it's saying is corrupted. As in, the cache is corrupted. Yeah, this is just this is just a Unity issue. It has nothing to do with my project, bro. As far as I can tell. Holy cow. I mean, it's good if you're doing something that you like, then it's not work, right? But, The facts are still there. It's basically, it's a hit or miss with that stuff. You're always going to get the crowd that agrees, the crowd that disagrees, and all you want is the passion. That's really what it comes down to. I can't use Unity. I legitimately cannot use it right now because that error is just going to keep popping up, and it's not pointing me to where the error actually is. So every time I do play mode, that's going to come up. If I'm not even in play mode, it's just going to come up. It doesn't care. So the only thing that I can think of is to remake the library. Because it's saying that it's corrupted. Whatever it is looking for. I just wish it would have told me what is correct. This is really bad. These types of errors are really poor. Really poorly documented, hard to track. It's like good stuff. I just dealt with another one, an SSAO issue that wasn't actually an SSAO issue. And now they want to give me another one. So it's like I spent more time this last 2 weeks dealing with these small issues than actually doing game dev. It's crazy. Funny thing is, yesterday this wasn't even happening. So it's like I just turned on Unity and suddenly you thought you were going to game dev today. I don't know. I don't want to end it like this, but it looks like that's what it's going to be. It's crazy. Poke around a little bit. Maybe I'll be able to figure it out. So, what was it? Before this, it was because we had Muse, and Unity did not know how to handle Muse. And then once I removed Muse, then this stuff started popping up. So this is likely related to when I removed Muse from the project. That's what I'm thinking. So I guess let's try to add Muse back to the project. Maybe... where are you? Assets. Maybe Unity wants you to have an AI on my project, and now it's making sure I can't work without it. It must be what it is. I'm really close to just starting a new project, grabbing this stuff, and then putting it into the next project. Yeah, I'm almost there right now. I'm going to probably just recompose the library if this doesn't work. And if that doesn't work, I'm just going to make a new project. But, okay. Did it stop? It looks like it stopped giving errors now. I reinstalled Muse. And I'm seeing no errors. It was something tied to Muse. That is so annoying. that is annoying. Unity wants to make sure I have the Muse asset on my computer. Basically. Well, now you know, Nepal. Do not install Muse on your Unity unless you want it to break when you try to uninstall it. Like, I think the problem is somewhere in packages. It really pulls the freaking wind right out of the sails when you do that stuff, bruh. And I still don't know why this is trying to connect Heaven Splitter with this. I'm going to disconnect Heaven Splitter altogether. See what happens. Oh, we forgot to save. That's fine. Oh! We have to fix a problem, I think. There was a problem that I had mentioned earlier, which is that there's something going on with the algorithm for this, where it's shooting it twice for some reason. Like, this is once. This is just hanging out over here by itself. But this is once. This is the one I just disconnected over here. Heaven Splitter. But they're all trying to basically connect back to that, and I don't know why. So we need to look at the formula behind that. Okay, so this has nothing to do with this side of the code. It's the actual... It's actually the UI itself that is problematic. Okay. I need to run my brain through what's happening here. Basically, we're iterating through the parents, and then we are getting the amount. Okay, so we're inside of this. Something is just off here. I think what we want is to simplify this a bit. So let's do that. We're going to just comment this out real quick. Annoying. Okay.
Thin ice, walking on my own. Playing nice, should I let it go? You said that it would change, but you're going home, and I'm losing hope. Ba-da-da-da-da. But you would never know that I'm still afraid. The things you say are adding numbers to my days. What if you told yourself things would never be the same? Countdown, feel the ticking in my ears. No, is it near the end? Fade out till I disappear. No, 'cause look the other way, you meet you face to face. Words they flow
Child get
away
node.
when
Oh.
I'm losing the race. 'Cause I can't play this game. 'Cause I'm still afraid the things you say adding numbers to my days. What if you doubt yourself? Things would never be
We can do it that way instead. That's smarter.
You are an amazing ball of light, circling this heart you set alight. Open up, don't you know who you are? Electric, your eyes are filled with stars.
I think that should do it. Let's see what the effect is.
You are an amazing ball of light, circling this heart you set alight. Open up, don't you know who you are?
Oh, whoops.
Your eyes are filled with stars.
Still out of what the heck?
tell them how I really feel? Should I ever tell them how I really feel? Swimming in sand, take my hand, I wanna refocus. Muscle, my music, my presence.
Lies and slander. What is it saying? It's saying that line points. Oh, no, it's line points at length does not equal the required.
One of us seems to circle the other. As you go, you remain a stranger to me, to you. But our pieces left uncovered. I'm thinking about four-leaf clovers. I've got composure, silver coin. You hold me, turn me over. I never expect to forget about it. Watch as the breeze burns gold and smoke that you've stolen. Feels like it's my fortune that you're folding. I'm swimming with the sharks. I'm swimming with the sharks. I can't tell you apart.
I'm still a little annoyed about not having Muse, not being able to get rid of Muse. A bit annoying. Okay, according to this, there are 20 connections.
Doesn't work like it used to. As I know I remain a danger to me, to you. Growing altered by the moment, dear. And as the days turn idle, sweet on survival. I'm on fire, waiting your arrival. I never expect to be saved without it.
That doesn't make sense. We go through each node right here, and we just get the children's. Oh. Right that way.
It's out of my control, you say.
Might be that we need to add one each. I think so. Okay, so we do know that we're getting here. I think we need to add one each time. That's what the problem is. But we're multiplying it by 2. What? Why is it? What? Yeah? I'm confused. It should be increasing by 1, not by 2. Right? Like, why is it going 0, then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? Be going 0, 1, 2, 3. It's called every time this would increase. Are we increasing it somewhere else? Oh! There we go. Okay. We're supposed to catch that Nepal. That's funny looking. Interesting. Okay. Alright, let's try it now. Okay. And if we do this, then we'll end up... We'll end up like the way we should. I hate the way that this is set up, I'll be honest. I would rather do it... This is a way that Unity does it out of the box if you try to use line renderer. So I was just trying to emulate that. Normally what I would do is I would just put it in a tuple, but I would rather set it up this way, only because tuples are an allocation. I don't want to have to worry about that. But the easier way would just to tuple it and then push it through. Let's do it through a tuple, and let's just comment this one out. Well, actually, yeah. I guess let's do that. There we go. Okay, and so instead of doing that, we can use this now. We didn't need to comment this out. Okay, so reading through this, we get the parent node. Then we just make a whole bunch of tuples for the parent node and its various children. And then we just add that to this here. Right? And so when we go through this, we will need for each one check the node, and then we check its children, how lines we're going to need for each. So each one should only have one that it needs. Well, not one, but one for each tile it needs. And then we doubled it here for some. That's fine. Good to have more than less. Okay, let's do it. Interesting. Oh, that's why. Oh no, we're right. Weird. Why? Interesting. Let's check if we're making it here again. Should be. Yep, we're doing it. And we are telling it to produce it. If we're on the wrong side of this, let's go to side. Yep, there they are. Interesting. Does it think it's at least rendering the lines or no? It could be rendering the lines somewhere else. Hold on. Let me see where it's rendering them. Could be like a position issue. No, it's actually not rendering the lines at all. We have no lines here being rendered. Interesting. Why? But we do know that this is working at least. Are we just not making it here? Question. Oh, yeah, okay. Couple point. Oh, it needs to be vector 2. Okay, there we go. I was still putting in the old array that we were not using. So we were doing all of this, but we were just sending it the wrong array. So now let's take a look. It should work perfectly fine now. Oh gosh, I'm pretty sure I just accidentally dragged and dropped something. Whatever. None. Like, I don't get why it's making these connections at all. What the heck is going on? Let's take a look at this, and let's take a look at the core node. It should only have one thing that is child, and that's this. Question is, what is this? This part is all fine, I think. Actually, let's take a closer look at this, because this is something that I was interested in over here. It was doubling these up, and it still is. You can sort of see it in the way the laser's going. It's got one going in, one coming out. I think that is weirdness happening. It looks cool though, but this is very wrong. So how's he wrong? So which one is that? Okay, Heaven Splitter is saying that it has a parent connection to this. What is that? That should be the core node. Yes, it is. Core node has only one, according to this, core node only has one child and requires nothing. Heaven Splitter. Where are you? Heaven Splitter. It has one required node, which is 973. Core node is 199. These are two completely different. Something is going on here. And we are explicitly only generating the ones that should be. Interesting. We know that we're not generating from two different places because when we broke this one accidentally, it didn't show anything. That was a nice thing to jump into. But we have 3 pages of this stuff now. Most of these things being at 0. Oh, I see. I got you. Okay. Right now. I did save, right? I think I did. Better. We're still generating some random stuff. I feel like this is actually very close to what it should look. Very close. We still have this one connecting to this one, and I don't think that's right. So let's take a look at what that is. Weird. We have 20 items on it. That makes sense. Let me see. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is multiplied by 2 over here to give us our 20. And so, because these are points, 1 point, 2 point, so this is actually the correct number of points. 20, the exact number we should. But it's doing some weird stuff. Why is this directly connecting to this one? Am I missing something? No, it is. What nodes are these? Question. That is form unrelenting and root stance. Root stance is by itself, it has nothing else. Form unrelenting is connected to the path of. So this is Path of the Unchained. That's correct. These two things are not connected. I don't know why it's making them. So what was it? It was Form Unrelenting. We only have one node. It is 193. That does not match this. This has 2. It has a required negative 617 or 671 and 613. That does not match this at all. Huh. So weird. Why can't things just work? But yeah. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. No, it shouldn't give me that issue though. It has to be that the information in UI nodes is incorrect, then I guess. Doesn't make sense for it to be incorrect. Doesn't make any sense, man. What am I missing here? Oh, I get it. Oh no, but it should check itself here though. Let's do a check on that. What I suspect is happening is happening. Oh. Nope. We are getting legit numbers. And they're all unique numbers. So we have 10 unique numbers here. It's funny. Okay, I have to do one last test. Get this to make sense for me. Find out what's going on here. Pause. Okay, so we are seeing two things that shouldn't connect. Are root stance, I believe, and form unrelenting. So, form unrelenting. It's not here on the list. About root stance. Yeah, it's not on the list. In short, it is doing it correctly, but it's generating a line here for some reason. I don't get it. Why is it generating that extra line? Look at that line renderer. doing weird things. If I look at this, these are identical points. Oh, because I gotcha. So in this case, we should have... We should have, I think this is 0, 0 right here. So that's 0, 0, 0 to 100, so Y, so that's this guy. And then this should not have 2, it should only have 1. Oh, wait, no, we're right. It's the points I'm on. So 0, 0, 0 is this point, 0 to 100 is here, 0 to 100, and then whatever this is, so 84, right. And now we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them with 84, so that's 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Look at the Y's. 381. So 1, 2, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unless it's going backwards. Is that what's happening? Are you... Is there... What? Oh. Oh, I know why. I think. So... We should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the exact same starting point. So, like, this value here doesn't make any sense. Oh no, wait. 1, 2. That makes sense, yeah. That makes sense, yeah. That's 2. Well, okay, so they do make some sort of sense. Okay, so let's look at it from that context. So this is that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six. Okay, so it's right. That's 6. So there's 6 of them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah, there's something else is sharing lin X and is throwing me off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're good with that. And so in theory, each one of the points that are leaving from this 381 position. So we need to look at something that is at a higher position. I think this is the highest position right now. Let's mess with this, see what happens. I guess nothing will happen while it's paused, or sucks. Can I just delete it then and nothing happened? Okay, I know what I have to do. Let's run it 1 second. Stop it and copy this. There. Let's paste it. Paste component values. There we go. So let's figure out which one is the bad actor here. This guy. I assumed it was this. Hey, I was right. I see. I think I see what the issue is. Line renderer. Line renderer is very mean. It's not rendering these as separate segments entirely. It wants to make a connection, it looks like, between the different points. So even though we put it over here, because we came back later, like we iterated through this whole thing, and then we came back later and then did it. So that means that the only solution that we have might be to which I do. Oh no, we don't do it that way. Oh gosh. Oh, that's painful. Okay, we need to think about line renderer now. You need to think about line renderer. Basically, my best guess is when I do a line like from here to here, here to here, line renderer is, for some reason, making these points, what's the best word to put? You could say it's anchoring to these points for another segment, right? So this is all technically one giant line, according to line renderer, what line renderer can think of it. This means that when we go here, what line renderer does is that, and this is answering why I was seeing things in double. So if I go to like here and then I go to this point, when I go and then make the next line to this point, it's actually going to draw a line back to this point from here. And then it'll just do that. So when I'm done doing all of these lines over here, when I get here, line renderer is basically drawing it like as if it's just one gigantic line, which is nice. It's awesome. Not what we want though. But it's pretty cool. I don't know if I want it to do that. I think I want it to segment every 2 points out. That's what I think I want it to do. So let's think about that for a second. Like I said, we're gonna have to think about line renderer. Hey, Stoner, what's going on, man? How are you doing, friend? We need to think about line render. I hope you're doing all right, man.
If the sky's breaking down, if the lightning comes to strike, I'll be the projection on the wall that it lies. The chaos all line, just look into the sky and follow the light. My fate in my own hands, game in my eyes. Give me the thunder, hear the thunder, cozy thunder, right now. Give me the thunder, hear the thunder, cozy thunder, right now.
I'm gonna heat up some tea. I'll be right back.
Your change over time, and guess who was right? Your parents told you kid, make everything alright. You want to be different, but you're still ignorant. You want to have control. You run away from home, desperately looking for strength. No place you can go, no one to stand by your side, too scared to get help. You want to have control. You work through the night, Your change over time, and guess who was right? Your parents told you kid, make everything alright. You want to be different, but you're still ignorant. You want to have control.
me steady. Yeah. 'Cause you want me, you won't let me go. So I burn slow. I can see you coming like a wildfire. I'm just a fuel, baby, you're the lighter. If I'm not careful, you'll burn right through my soul. Burning like a wildfire. Careful, you'll burn right through my soul. Burning like a wildfire. Dynamizer. I can feel you coming like a wildfire. I'm just the fuel, baby, you're the lighter. If I'm not careful, you'll burn right through my soul. Burning like a wildfire. Dynamizer.
You've been on my way since day one. I wait every day since I'm gone. Babe, the only thing I'm missing, only thing regretting is losing you. I'd rather be since day one. I did it all not too wrong. But in every goddamn racing, I found a demon weak inside my mind. So baby, now we up. Yeah, we're making everything and we gone. And every time we dizzy or drunk, nights you come and say no more. Only chiva. Never meant to say sorry. Si prefieres llamarme cuando quieras just call me. Si me ves, con que no te esté vibrando el móvil. Si te vas un retorno, tú cambiaste el entorno. Do you wanna return? What you want, what you need from me. Que me falta por decir, dice dímelo a mí. Yo no sé nada. What you want, what you need from me. No hay nada que decir. So now let's say I'm about to blow up. Say I'm about to blow up. back to you. I'm lost again. I don't wanna run from all of this. I'm bulletproof. You'll never love me like you love JT back in '03. Up on MTV on a stage wearing shoes made of diamonds, singing songs about you like a siren. No, I won't be what you seem to need, 'cause I don't see what you seem to see. Ain't got troops in a crowd all united, ain't got you screaming loud and excited. I can't ever be the Backstreet boy you want me to. I just can't measure up, no, not in sync with the
All right, we are back. Had to take care of a few things. Let's test this stuff out. Let's see what we're at. It's not giving an error. Weird. It's on segmented stretch though. We need to be on segmented tile. Hey, it works. Very nice. Fantastic. Okay. Mission accomplished. So this is what it should look like. You see, that's the thing. We had problems, and then I chose to ignore them because I thought they wouldn't be problems that I needed to worry about today. And then all of a sudden, I run into them because they are problems for today. Anyway, this is what it should look like now. It actually looks much better too because you don't have it going back and forth. But yeah, each line is basically its own segment now. I'm satisfied with that. If we ended on just that, I'd be okay. That would have felt good enough, but I'm trying to think if there's... We probably want to put like a tooltip. I think having a tooltip here right now would probably be good. Because it would speed up development time a little bit. Like I could just hover over it and find out what actually is here. It looks alright. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with this. It looks good. Yeah, I'm happy with this. So far we have complete stability also. I haven't seen any issues popping up. I think we probably want the area, like, I don't know. I think this might be a little bit too large of a gap. Like, we probably want to half this. Let's check out what the grid is. I think it's in the grid that we can control that. We can just set the rest length a little bit lower. Oops. There we go. Probably want to increase the dampening a little bit, gets come to a rest faster. Is the core even moving? Like, I think that's something else I needed to do. I needed to make sure, yeah, it is moving. So, I needed to ensure that the objects return to 0. Instead of, because right now what it will do is that it'll overshoot. Right? And as it overshoots, so like, I'll explain, should be pretty evident. But effectively what's happening is that this is pulling down on all of this, and it's coming in too close to this. So then this pushes back on it. But because this is lighter than this, it pushes back further. What should be happening is that it's harder for this to pull because this is heavy. But it's giving like some type of infinite feedback loop because this part is squinching up also, and this part is super heavy. So this will just continue to go in and out like that until it dampens completely. So to mitigate that, we would just increase the dampening. So like if I went to like 250, it should just start wiping through all of its potential energy. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, still doing it. Regardless, can do 125, I guess. This is so cool. Like I'm really cool. This is awesome. Alright, wait, let's stop joking around. So we're gonna make this 125. Interesting. I need to look at that. There's another issue. There is another issue. think the spring force might be too... The spring strength might be too much. Just gauging like how it feels if I had to play this and like it was clicking stuff like. I think this is fine. I think this is a good distance for each node from each other. I guess we can try a little bit closer and see what happens. We probably want to mitigate this also. Might be too close. I think 125 is a good number for it. This is roughly the distance. Here, I think maybe 150. 125 might be too clustered. So it might be confusing to look at. I don't want to make it intimidating. So giving like eye space is pretty... So 150, I think we're going to stick with that. So let's change this collision range to 125. Yes. Alright, this is good. I like it. I think that's good. We fixed like what, 3 random Unity bugs along the way, and then my own bug. We actually made the line render better than it was before. We added the ability to segment out our different lines. You got to see the code live, I guess. It wasn't that much of a difference, just needed to add a modulo to make sure that it would split it. I think that's it. Ladies and gents, that's it. I think that's it for my go at it for today. So the reason why I'm stopping right now, I think, is I forgot to actually do the graph for like how, like hand drawing how these things are going to play out, like what stats go where and things like that. I was more or less just still trying to think, what stats do I need for this? And then I got sidetracked with a whole bunch of other things and getting depressed because Unity had that bug that just kept popping up. So I spent a ton of time handling the SSAO bug, only to find out that, yeah, it was definitely the engine. So I just had to update Unity and it worked. So I've been preoccupied, and I forgot to do that. So I'm gonna spend today, probably tomorrow, just drawing it out, like what I want this to look like. No, I have a Discord also. If you have ideas and like where I should go with this, feel free to drop it there also. I'm open for ideas. I'm not a one-man army. So it'd be pretty cool. But I do have some concepts. I mean, I've shared them earlier, so it'd be pretty cool just to get like feedback, basically, I think, on this, because this looks like it could be getting pretty big very quickly. I like it though. I'm liking it. Alright, we're gonna call it there. Have a wonderful day, folks.
From the losses, my failure was friendship. I saw it was ghosting. Started like everyone got certain tools.